Hey, good day, YouTube. Everybody out there, thanks for checking in. A little bit different tone today on a quick video. I don't know how to start it off, but Alicia Clegg did a video on her alternate channel, Toxic Threads. Go check it out. The link will be below. And you've probably heard the story. If you haven't, you're really not paying attention. But a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, maybe 11-year-old boy was dancing for money in a gay bar in New York City. Pretty sure it was New York. It seems like it's all New York, Sodom and Gomorrah, no matter where it is nowadays. But go listen to the video. It is disturbing, the things that are being allowed in this country and people are allowing and participating in. And you look at it and you just know that we deserve everything we get out of this. Whether it's Skynet comes down and kills us all, Planet of the Apes, whatever. Whatever the SHTF event is that comes to rid the world of this mess, we deserve it. Because we've allowed it to propagate, and I say the proverbial we. And I look at it and I'm like, why have we allowed this to propagate? And we have been, for so many years, shamed into back corners, and with the populist tripe, I guess, of coexisting and the wishing that we would all live in peace, people have decided to let it go instead of doing something about the things like that. We were warned for many, many years. I remember growing up of these eventualities. We were warned that these things would be coming, that, you know, if you allow divorce to propagate and just are complicit in it, it's gonna, you know, destruction of the family values, destruction of the home, and then, you know, the propagation of homosexuality and AIDS and all these things would just multiply upon each other, and nobody believed it. Everybody, you know, just like, oh, whatever, crazy pastors, they don't know what they're talking about, they're just old guys. And yet here we are. It's one of those things, you don't know how bad it's going to be until you actually get there. And we think too of how much worse can it be, because it says in the Bible that it'll be the same as the time of Noah, or worse. And we're not there yet. Does that tell you how bad it is? Look at how bad things were in ancient, I guess the Middle East, you would say, ancient Greece, ancient, even after the fall of Greece, when Rome was trying to control the Middle East, how bad the subversion of the morality was. And if it's not directly tied, what else is it? What else is causing it? But we're not there yet, but yet we have small children dancing for the pleasure of grown men, and it's apparently it's okay, because I don't think anybody got arrested. The mom's not in jail. The people that own the place aren't in jail. They didn't burn the place down, which would probably be the first solution. You almost feel guilty for not being able to go do it yourself and things like that. You know, when you're not able to make things right in situations like that, you feel guilty yourself for being complicit in a lot of ways. At least I do. But yet we're not that bad off to where we are at the eventuality of the second coming. So how much worse is it going to get? It's going to feel like SHTF, even if it's not. Because it's only going to progressively get worse in the debasement of your society, which means lessens the value of human life, which means sickness, murder, all that other stuff. So don't say you weren't warned. And now you know why. And if I think I know better the reasoning of why we isolate ourselves and become recluse in our ways, because we can't interact with that type of society without acting out and just ending up putting ourselves in jail or putting ourselves under the ground because we can't stand it. We removed ourselves from society, which is probably the best thing to do as we're directed, remove ourselves from the world, which I don't know that this is necessarily doing that, because being on YouTube is not doing that, I guess. But whatever's coming, we deserve it, because we're allowing it to propagate. You got a man playing football against women, pretending to be a woman. You got a man pretending to be a beauty queen. And it's like, and Alicia says it the best, and I think it's one of the things we've missed in all these decades. We were so worried about the women and children, the women and their little girls, that we forgot about the little boys. And she's been hitting on this hard lately. Think about the little boys. Who's protecting them? And we have lost our ability, we've lost our thought on protecting them, thinking that they could take it, that they could handle it. I don't know. I don't know what we did as society collectively. We all have our own personal issues, I guess, but collectively as a society, we haven't protected the little boys and not created strong men. That's probably definitely, at least in a proportional sense, we haven't created a large number of strong men. The military studies and everything else bear that out, with the obesity rates, all the other physical fitness stuff, everything. Things that are necessary are not being taught, and those that are not are. So, I don't know, just point you to that direction of that video. Think about it. You've been warned, for lack of a better word, if you didn't know already. Time's coming. Time is short. It seems like we're told it's short, but it seems like it's going to be a long time, because we're not, as bad as that all sounds, it's not bad enough as it was in the times of Noah, it doesn't seem like. If you want an idea of how bad things were in the ancient world, remember the movie 300, when the traitor, I don't know, Themistocles or whatever his name was, went into the tent of, who was the Persian leader? I forgot, not Ramses, not Cyrus. Anyway, the Persian leader there, the Persian king, tyrant, he goes into his tent, and there's all these different perversions going on in the tent. And that was the ancient Middle East for, 200, 300 AD. That stuff was going on the streets, on the sides, on corner streets. Whatever you wanted to do, you could do it. Maybe not in that luxurious of environment, but that was ancient Persia, ancient Middle East, all the different, the Romans came in, they weren't able to stop that stuff. They participated in it half the time. The Greeks promoted it. But that's what the ancient world was like. That's how bad things are going to get. It'll be on street corners and in your face. And that's why we removed ourselves from the world from it, I guess. But that's what's coming. And all the other things are going to come with that. It's just to think about. Something to think about. You've been warned. If you haven't been before. Live free.